We are 3 months away from the September 2026 Apple event, and the supply chain leaks for the iPhone 18 Pro series have locked in. They all point in a very specific and highly unusual direction. Apple is building its most expensive, advanced internal architecture to date, and burying it inside a shell that looks virtually identical to a 3-year-old phone. That presents a very real problem when you are asked to hand over 1,34,900 rupees for the base Pro model in India. You have to decide if paying absolute top-tier prices for hardware upgrades you can't even see is a brilliant strategy to future-proof your tech or a complete waste of money. The criteria for a smart purchase this year has shifted. We are moving away from buying a device as a visual status symbol and focusing entirely on hardware that is engineered to survive 5 full years of daily use. If you pick up the 18 Pro, your hand feels the exact same triple camera layout and flat squared-off edges seen since the iPhone 15. The overarching rear chassis design is frozen in place. The only visual tell that you are holding the new generation is on the front glass. The dynamic island cutout is shrinking, dropping about 35% of its width to give you back a sliver of usable screen space. To get that sleeker screen, you are actually taking a hit on dimensions. The Pro Max model is increasing in thickness to 8.8 millimeters to make room for what's inside. If your primary reason for upgrading is to get that new phone feel, or for other people to know you have the latest model, this hardware generation offers you zero value. The entire reason that chassis is getting thicker is to house the A20 Pro chip. Apple is moving to an advanced 2-nanometer architecture, creating the foundational hardware upgrade of this device. The raw metrics show a 15% bump in processing speed, paired with a massive 30% gain in overall power efficiency. Apple is combining that highly efficient chip with a much larger physical battery, between 5,100 and 5,200 milliamp hours, which is exactly why the phone needs that thicker 8.8mm body. This chart maps processing power against battery depletion. Power output ticks up slightly, but the depletion line drops dramatically, pushing this device into multi-day battery territory. Routine tasks won't even scratch the A20 Pro's processing headroom, handling them while barely sipping power. Apple isn't building this extreme power profile so your calendar app opens faster. They are building a foundation to handle continuous, heavy on-device AI tasks, while ensuring your battery still holds a solid charge 4 or 5 years down the line. The iPhone's main camera is moving away from a fixed lens and adopting a mechanical variable aperture system. This physical hardware allows you to manually control exactly how much light hits the sensor, giving you precise command over your depth of field and motion blur. Behind that lens is a new stacked image sensor designed to improve dynamic range and strip out image noise when you are shooting in high-contrast environments. But if you just pull your phone out, leave it on auto mode, and snap a quick photo of your dog, you will likely see almost zero difference in quality compared to last year's model. This specific camera upgrade only justifies the flagship cost if you are willing to dive into the settings and actively manipulate your photography and video parameters. Building that 2-nanometer fabrication process and securing memory chips right now is incredibly expensive, and component costs are spiking globally across the tech sector. Reports indicate Apple is actively absorbing those extra expenses to keep the iPhone 18 Pro Max pricing relatively flat, expected to land right around 1,49,000 rupees in the Indian market. They are doing this to protect their premium demand in price-sensitive regions, taking a hit on margins rather than passing the manufacturing burden directly onto the buyer. While that flat pricing is a great temporary financial shield for buyers today, skipping this hardware generation likely means you will be exposed to the inevitable, sharp price hikes when the iPhone 19 or 20 cycle forces the cost back onto the consumer. Because the iPhone 18 Pro is a strictly utilitarian upgrade, built for longevity rather than visual flair, there is no single right answer for everyone. This flowchart maps out the decision based on your current device. If you look at the first branch, the aging tech holdout, using an iPhone 14 or older, the path leads straight to a clear recommendation to buy. For this group, combining the massive leap in battery density with that 2-nanometer efficiency creates the perfect long-term supercycle upgrade. Following the second pathway down to the Pro Creator, we look at users who shoot manual video and rely on professional photography tools. The addition of the physical variable aperture hardware alone turns this device into a mandatory tool upgrade to maintain creative control in your pocket. That leaves the final branch, the status upgrader. If you are currently holding an iPhone 15, 16, or 17, the total lack of external design changes and a slightly smaller dynamic island will make the 18 Pro feel like an absolute waste of money. The flowchart output for this demographic is definitive. Skip this year entirely and wait for a true physical redesign. The ultimate value of the iPhone 18 Pro isn't going to be determined by Apple's spec sheet. Instead, it is determined entirely by the age and capability of the phone currently sitting in your pocket.